Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to an episode of Coffee with Dave. Clearly, I have not had enough coffee. I was muted going live. But hey, that's just the way it works. It's been a busy, busy week. We had a lot of fun this week. The week started with a kickoff with the immediate past chairman of the National Association of Home Builders, Greg Ugaldi, and one of the directors in marketing, John McGeary, who had a very busy week with the International Builders Show Virtual, IBSX. This is how we kicked off our Monday. And then we had a full week of IBS shop talks, keynotes, presentations, tech bites, and all that stuff's still going to be there and still able to watch. So if you haven't checked it out, you should. It was phenomenal. We had a lot of fun. I got to do a couple different presentations, one with Mark Farmer from the United Kingdom, England, on Modernize or Die. We had our interview, which was amazing. Also was able to do a tech bite. So if you haven't seen that, 10 simple, easy, no cost, low cost ways for inbound marketing. Yes, and a lot of it was based around how powerful video is and why we keep doing this, for sure. And then system built techniques for custom homes. So we talked about, does that make sense? And answered a lot of questions. It was a little bit of a round table about system building and custom homes and how does one go about doing it. So that was the week that we had on top of our regular live show. So why don't we take a look at some of this stuff that we had going on? So again, we started off with Greg Ugaldi and John McGeary on Monday. Tuesday was the kickoff to IBSX and on Building Modular with Jennifer. That's what we talked about. Was this kickoff? Was what's going to happen and following along. And we were going to do some updates and everything with IBSX, and we did, and it was a great show. Wednesday, we had the one, the only Integra, Jerry McCahey, on our show. And we talked about the future of what panelization is doing, how he's doing on it. And it ran and ran and ran. If you guys don't know Jerry can talk, man. He just has so much knowledge to impart on us and wisdom for everything that he's been doing. You know, his business Integra didn't start here in the United States. It started in Ireland with his dad. They've been doing system built construction for a long, long time. They've just decided to bring that technology here not too long ago, and they're super, super successful at it and growing in leaps and bounds. So Jerry McCahey from Integra was on Wednesday, so you can always go to our YouTube channel and check that out. Then Thursday, increasing influence. We had Mayan Gordon on. That's right, Mayan Gordon, 2.2 million followers. Yeah. 2.2 million followers. She has over 35,000 followers on TikTok. Her hobby is glass blowing, but she's also a coach. She helps people with social media, helps people kind of get over that hurdle in their business. So if you haven't seen Thursday's show, anybody that can acquire 2.2 million followers, don't you think it's worth listening to? I do. We listened loud and clear. So it was really great having Mayan Gordon on the show. So if you don't know who that is, please check her out. It is well worth it. And then, of course, on Friday, we had Blue Earth and Deconstruction with Steve and Colleen. Blue Earth Deconstruction with Steve and Colleen. So get this. Oh, and our friend Mark Bare Naked Willie. But get this. Why demolish a house if you can earn money on demolishing your house? Now, what does that mean? Deconstruct, what they do is they come in and they take your house apart. They employ people. Instead of a bulldozer with a claw and a dumpster, and just rip it down in one day, pack it in a dumpster and you're gone in 2 days, what have you, they actually employ a team of people, come in, they take out the windows, they repurpose the studs, get rid of the sheetrock, and that's no good in the insulation. They get rid of all of that, but everything else they actually salvage, and they sell and donate. I guess it's more donate, right? To Habitat for Humanity and organizations such as that. And you, as the homeowner, get to reap the benefits of that donation. And I think they said the average donation is like $50,000 when you break it down, versus just throwing all of this stuff into a landfill. So there's something to nibble on. That was a great show. Can you believe it? We went an hour and a half on that show. We had to finally end it. There was a lot of comments, a lot of back and forth on it. So check that out. Definitely Blue Earth Deconstruct. You want to check it out. Let's go to the comments here. Let's say who's in the house. Greg Ugaldi's on Twitch this morning. What is happening, Greg? What was your favorite IBS experience? So, all right, I got a couple of them, Greg. One, outside of my own presentations, I had so much fun with the live presentation that we did the other night, literally answering questions about offsite construction, modular, panelized, and having such a wonderful group of people join us and partake in that conversation. I thought was probably one of the highlights, because it was one of the events that I was actually live in and was able to interact with some of the participants. But for me, the other events outside of the Mike Rowe interview that he did, and talking about workforce housing and the labor issue, I thought was phenomenal. And the fact that he reached out and said right live to the NAHB, I would love to work with you. That's what I heard. How cool is that to have a celebrity like Mike Rowe say that to you? So that was a favorite moment when I heard that. But the shop talks, sat in on plenty of the shop talks, sat in on some of the Tech Bite sessions. And I think when I really pull it all together, Greg, to me, if I look at this event overall, it was the ability to pick and choose what was most important to me to go after and watch and learn and network with other people that were watching it. So I guess I liked a lot of it. My favorite? I don't know. I like running my mouth, man. I talk a lot. So I guess that was my favorite. I got to talk to people. So love it, love it, love it. Hey, Judy Dannell, what is happening? I love Judy. Gosh, Judy, I didn't talk to you at all this week. Good morning, Dave. Enjoying coffee with you. IBSX was awesome, and I was able to get lots of education classes. It has been a very busy 2 weeks of IBSX, 1 week of meetings, and then a week of show. Phew. Judy, you're always out there working hard, right? And everybody out there, if you're listening, you don't know who Judy Dannell is. Judy Dannell is, you updated something. I know you changed, and I can't remember what it was, but I'm just going to go with what I know. But basically is the chair for, maybe it's the immediate past chair now, you said it, for all the associate members at the NAHB. That is all 88,000 plus associate members. Not only that, Judy is with 84 Lumber, which is a women-owned company. Didn't know that until I met Judy. A female-owned company, which is absolutely amazing. And sitting at the top of the leaderboard at the NAHB, helping drive things forward, I think is outstanding. So good morning to you, Judy. In fact, I got my coffee right here, so I hope everybody's enjoying their morning as much as I am. All right, moving down the line here. Let's see who else we have. Judy, say hello to Mr. Ugaldi. Mr. Ugaldi, say hello to Judy. You see, Judy, Greg's on Twitch this morning. That's right. Why are we on Twitch, Greg? All the young people are on Twitch. That's why we're on Twitch, and we need to get to Twitch. All right, everybody. I see there's quite a few of you out there this morning, so thank you for tuning in. I always love when we have more and more people join us on our Coffee with Dave. Today's going to be a kind of a light day, so we are now in New Jersey. Greg, coming your way tomorrow, man. We're going to be up in other parts of the world. I think coming up to Connecticut to get a couple things, and then we're heading back to warmer weather. That's kind of our journey so far and what we're doing. The road show is getting ready to start. We have some great things happening. Greg had a great meeting yesterday. Had a great meeting yesterday about our road show with the universities. I mean, all the different universities that we're going to get to go to and be a part of and network with and meet the students and bring the students into our show is going to be phenomenal. It's funny. I was just saying to everybody after that meeting, I'm like, here's a guy, got out of high school, college wasn't for me. Well, the judge said, hey, listen, you either go to the Army or you're going on the other bus. It's kind of a true story. But ended up staying in the Army for 10 years, got my liberal arts degree while I was in the Army, you know, and it's kind of a really cool thing to all of a sudden be speaking with and having the opportunity now to work with some of the most major universities in this country. I mean, that's just how cool life can be and the journey that it takes us on. And I'm really looking forward to what's to come. So we have a light week this week coming up because it is a travel week. We're prepping for our road show, so we kind of kept it light without a whole lot because we need to get back down to warmer weather, and we have some events getting ready to kick off. So we are going to do some replays of some shows this week, some of our best shows for sure. We do have some surprise guests that will be joining us, and we will be on location at a couple places this week. So stay tuned for that. We are working on the rest of the quarterly calendar, and we're going to be releasing that soon as well. So everybody will know who, what, when, and where, so you can plan accordingly. We're going to be. Unfortunately, COVID has made everything a little bit harder for us to nail things down, to include DMV and all the things that we need just to do this roadshow. Insurances, liabilities, all the different things that happen with this stuff. So, but we are there. And that's the beauty of it all. We are there, and that's all going to be kicking off. So, looking forward to it. Hey, what's happening, Joe? Good to see you. I hope all is well, man. I haven't talked to you in a while, so I hope you are doing well. Things are going well on this end. Thanks for tuning in this morning. Great story. It's a true story. Had my recruiter with me, and I said, I really am going to the Army. No, it wasn't that bad of a guy. Great job these past 2 weeks, Judy, Dave, and Jen. Seems like we were just, you're right. We, not too long ago, had the opportunity to sit down with Greg and Judy for a wonderful dinner. It was still warm outside, you know, for the most part. We were able to sit outside. That was really cool. This journey of live streaming, just putting it all out there, putting ourselves out there, has been anything but it's just amazing. I can't say it's anything but amazing. It's amazing. I've gotten to meet like Joe, like Judy, like Greg, Jerry McCaughy, all of these people that are now part of our family. I'd like to say it's become amazing. Like, honestly, just to meet so many wonderful people and so many different jobs and in different places and different parts of the country and the world. I mean, we're on the phone literally all the time with people in England, Ireland, France, Saudi Arabia, Vietnam. I mean, it's become this global network of family and friends. And these are all people really with big hearts putting it all out there. And I think this is what's been so grateful and what we've been so blessed to be a part of on this show. And this is the unknown. Miles wrote his book, Unseen Work, right? The unseen work. Go out and buy it if you don't know Miles Biggs' idea. He's one of our co-hosts on Thursday on Increasing Influence. And he wrote a book called Unseen Work. And it's just about that. It's about all the behind the scenes stuff that has to happen to get to where you're going to be in life. And it's the same thing, I hop on this camera for an hour, or 30 minutes on Coffee with Dave, 20 minutes sometimes, depending on what the hockey schedule used to be. And I have to tell you, but there's this whole unseen work that happens behind the scenes, all the conversations, all the pre-interviews to interview. Does it make sense? Do you want to be on the show? But all of that leads to one thing. It leads to relationships, and it leads to getting to know people who otherwise I would never have the opportunity to know. And this show, and I've said it even yesterday, with the student chapter at the NAHB and some of the other folks, what the show allows is a student at any one of these universities or high schools or tech schools to ask a question to somebody like Judy or Greg on the show, right? Like Judy or Greg on the show. Now think about it. If we're at a trade show, we're at IBS, most people are not getting within 100 yards of Judy or Greg just because they're busy. Everybody knows them. They have a lot of work to do and they're networking in this. This show allows anybody and everybody the opportunity to interact within our business with whomever we have on the show. And that's what's amazing about it. So with that said, super cool stuff. All right, everybody, who else is out there this morning? Hey, David Toulin, good morning. Oh, David Toulin's joining us. What's up, Mr. David Toulin? Videographer, friend. Hope you're well. Good to see you this morning, David. Love it, love it. Thank you for joining in. Oh, let's see. Mary Jane joined us this morning and says, oh, Mary Jane, how are you? I really hope you're keeping Greg in line. You know, I know he gets a little crazy sometimes. Nah, great. Mary Jane, great person, does a lot in her community as well. This is the thing about the Ugandas. And I think a lot of people that make it to such a high level in business is, you know, you forget that they're still people in some aspects, right? Because you're like, wow, how do you make it to such a level? But the reality of it is, you know, Greg, I'm tooting your horn a little bit here this morning, and it's no other reason other than respect. But the reality of it is, you know, like Judy, I know you do a ton in your community with the town, you know, your wife. I mean, you do a ton in the community. Greg's a builder. Most people don't know that, but his full-time job is building houses. And the NAHB is mainly, other than them covering his travel, is his volunteer time and the amount of time he puts in. But he has a slew of kids that all play hockey. Some are teaching at major universities as hockey coaches, women. I love it because my daughters play hockey. And this is what's so great about it, because if I didn't have, you know, people like Greg and Judy and others on this show, I wouldn't know this about them. And they would just be, you know, people out there at a very high level. And I think that you don't really get to know and don't really get the personal side of things. So that's what's great about the show. I know I'm rambling on this morning. We got a light week, so I'm trying to keep it light. We have some big announcements. Greg coming back on next month on the 22nd. And guess what? We're going to be on with Jerry McCahey, Henry Mickelberg, and Greg, maybe on your end too, you know, if you wanted to bring some more people in from the NAHB, because I'm looking to also bring one other person in. And we haven't figured out who that's going to be, to have a conversation about offsite construction and where is the value. Where does a builder find a value in offsite construction? Greg and I hit on this on our last conversation, and it is, where is the value? Why aren't more builders utilizing offsite construction, whether it's panelized, modular? Why? We're going to have an open conversation, and we are looking forward to you, the audience, joining us on this. What's going to be hard is, if you know Greg and you know Jerry McCahey and you know Henry Mickelberg, I don't know if I'll get a word in edgewise. I think it's going to be the Jerry, Henry, and Greg Ugaldi show on the 22nd next month. So mark that on your calendar. That's going to be a big conversation, and it's going to be one for the record books, because it is just going to be an open conversation about the growth in offsite, where the value is, why are builders not embracing it faster? Is it because it's less expensive? Because it's not less expensive? Is it because they don't know how to get to the number? Or, you know, what is the reason? We're going to have that conversation, and we're going to be very open about it, and we're going to really going to dive into it. And I think we probably should set a good hour and a half aside for that show, Greg, just for the sheer fact that I know there's going to be a ton of people, 3 big names on the show. It's going to drive a lot of audience conversation for sure. All right, everybody. So I don't know about you. I think it's like 20 degrees out here where we are in New Jersey, somewhere around that 28. Let me look at my watch. I think it tells me. I think it's like 28 degrees or something like that. We're heading up to Connecticut. We're going to get some things into Connecticut. We're heading back down here. Tuesday, we are back on the road, heading down to Virginia, then into the Carolinas. We're going to stop and hopefully touch base with some friends down there and live stream from wherever we are. So that's going to be great. Joe, we should hook up with wherever you're at as well down in Florida. I think that would be great, right? It's funny, Joe, we were just talking about you in Randall. I think it was this morning, actually. We were talking about our stream and everything we're doing. And with Joe and Randall and what they're doing is absolutely amazing. And you know what, Joe, let me point it out. Greg, I don't know if you know Randall out in Florida, and Judy and some others, but Randall does a lot of component manufacturing in the concrete world. They're building the full elevator shafts, right, out of concrete, and they deliver them all the way to Connecticut and set the full shaft with the structural loads inside and what have you. We went live from their location not too long ago. God, it's been like 3 weeks now, I think, maybe longer. But what's really cool about Randell is they work with the Orange County School District, which is the largest or second, one of the top largest school districts in the country, and they have an entire education program for it. So this is a construction company, several different pieces within the construction division, like fire and safety and concrete and all this, but they've actually have a program about giving back to the students, the youth, trade school all the way through high school and maybe into college, Joe. So yeah, put some links into that. I think it's a super cool thing that you guys are doing. And Joe, looks like we're working out some things for our road show with education and with the students. It'd be great to have Randell as part of that solution as well, since you guys are so into it. So let's talk further. All right, let's see who we got. Oh, Judy's at 84 Lumber was a sponsor for student chapters, and the presentations made my jaw drop. Hey, I bet it was, Judy. Put some links in there. Come on, let people know where to find this stuff. You know, the NAHB and the student chapter, I think it's, you know, the 30, 40 plus major universities that are part of it. What these young students are doing and learning and presenting is amazing. And it's such a great opportunity for suppliers, associate members, you know, to network, to get to know who these students are, to get to see the labor pool that's getting ready to come out. This is what it's all about. So that's really cool. I'm glad that you were able to see that. Oh yeah, Denver won the 4-year competition. So Eric Holtz, University of Denver. I gotta congratulate Eric. I was just with him yesterday. Well, I wasn't with him, virtually with him. That is really cool. That is super cool. What I love about today, IBS, as you can tell, was our week. This is what we did. Presentations, joining presentations, being part of presentations, interacting with everybody. So if you didn't take part in IBS, you need to. It was a great show. There was some overwhelming responses in the very beginning, but like anything else, you know, everything got back to where it needed to be, and all that content is there, and there's so much of it, and the keynotes, you know, were there. So part of today's conversation, right, with Mike Rowe, is it a skills gap or is it a wills gap? I'd like to have your thoughts on that with the labor force. You know, Mike Rowe's big into the labor force. I almost forgot to even touch on this, but with Mike Rowe, he really pushes to how do we get the people into our industry? How do we get young people to say, listen, you put in the work, you put in the effort, you can make a heck of a living in this industry. He was talking, you know, some of the people that go through his program, you know, they have 12 employees, 4 or 5 vehicles out on the road servicing. You know, there is a path to prosperity, as Mike Rowe says, and we believe that very much on Dave Cooper Live as well. There is a path to prosperity through the trades. A lot of people don't know it, especially in New England. An apprentice, like an MEP, HVAC, you can start off at $60,000 to $80,000 a year because there aren't enough of them. People are paying big dollars to have someone come and learn. I mean, this is the value of it. You know, every electrician that's worth their weight in gold, plumber, mechanical contractor that really does the job and runs their business the way it should be run, all of them, I mean, have beautiful homes, second homes. You know, there's a lot of prosperity in the trades. If you're good at what you do and you take pride in your work, you can really make a wonderful living in this world and not have hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt, right? There's two sides to this equation. Now, if you want to be an engineer and you want to be an astronaut, well, you know, then the universities are your way. But on the other side, we have VR, virtual reality, AR, augmented reality, parametric design, generative design, 3D printing. 3D printing. And not only 3D printing, we have NASA that is outsourced with Icon Legacy 3D printers in Texas to study moon hash so they can build on the moon with 3D printers. They want to take a 3D printer, fly it up there, and build a structure on the moon. How cool is that? What kid wouldn't want to, in the construction world, wouldn't want to be a part of that? I want to be a part of that. Hopefully they'll let me tell that story. So, all right, everybody, listen, 28 minutes. We're gonna have a good week this week. This is gonna be a surprise week, and then we're gonna get back into regular programming in a hard way. Roadshow is getting ready to kick off. We have all the pieces of the puzzles just about in place, just 2 steps away. So be sure to keep tuning in. We're gonna keep bringing you great content. We're gonna keep bringing you great guests, and we are gonna be doing amazing things and going to amazing places with amazing people and universities across this country. And it's going to be amazing. All right, everybody, listen, I'm Dave Cooper. Thank you so much for listening to me wander on this morning. Have a wonderful Saturday. Enjoy your coffee. We will see you Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern. I'm Dave Cooper. Thanks for watching. Bye, everybody.